Okay, well, as some of you might have noticed, my skin is Silent Bob from the Kevin Smith movies, and so taking that as inspiration, as some of the other folks did, uh, I decided to build a giant quick stop. And uh, originally, it just started as trying to see how large it would have to be to get it so that the stop sign looked right. So that's why the stop sign's down on the ground and not like up on top of the building like it's supposed to be. And once I finished the stop sign, I kind of realized that it would have to be too big to make sense. So I decided to go Vegas style with it and just make it a caricature of the quick stop instead of a, you know, real interpretation of it. So if we go over here, you see the gummed up locked uh, shutters from the beginning of the movie Clerks, and it does say, "I assure you, we're open." And let's go on in. One thing I'm very proud of on the inside here is the floor, which took me, I think, about an hour of research trying to find out what the floor in the actual quick stop looked like. And it kind of looked a little bit like a smaller version of this. Yeah, it took a while. So here's the cash register area. This cash register is actually set up in the configuration that was set up sort of after the movie was made with people who actually worked there, as opposed to the way that it was in the movie, where it wasn't set up so that it could actually be used. Over here was a big stack of different types of cigarettes, and this does have the sign on it, though, that it said in the movie, "If you plan to shoplift, please let us know." Up top here, it's got the prices of cigarettes, which was all they seemed to sell in the movie, and the We Card thing, which was also not taken from the movie. It was taken from pictures later on, but this is Vegas style and it's modern, so there we go. Yeah, yeah. Back here we have well, that's a restroom, um, where something in the movie happened. Um, Here we have the cooler section, and I tried to get, I tried all sorts of different ways I could think of to get milk in there for the milkmaid scene, and all I could really think of was in here in the chest. It's just full of milk. And on the inside, there's one more thing on the out, or a couple things on the outside to take a look at, but there's one more thing on the inside if you go in and flip that switch over there. It's a giant Silent Bob idol. Also could be giant Wild Wolf idol, since I kind of do look a lot like that. Uh, Over here is the redstone. It's awesome. I had it all covered up, but it blocked sort of the effect of coming in and seeing a giant me head. Uh, so I just left the redstone uncovered. I generally try and hide my stuff, but I didn't do that here. And I didn't know if we had the redstone uh, wireless redstone plug-in, so I just built it the normal way. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. We didn't want to build anything using plugins that other people might not have to. Okay. So then onto the outside. I figured we needed a parking lot. Um, in the beginning of the movie, Dante drives his car to the quick stop, and it's kind of this old, beat up sort of car. I'm not so good at making cars, so this is what I made. Oh, and if you do hop in here, the car does have room for enough people, and It does have a steering wheel. Yeah, that was a Piper influence. She said I should make it a UK style car, even though we're in New Jersey, but whatever. And we have handicap parking just because we, want to be polite. The last bit for the quick stop is actually up top. And anyone that's seen the movie Clerks knows that they had a sort of famous hockey match up on top of the building, and this is my interpretation of a roof-style street hockey rink. And yeah, I think that's all there is. So everyone that knows me and that knows how I build in our building contests and pretty much in general is I don't build small. I never build small, and we knew we needed a bridge to connect our little island from where we are to the main area because everything needs a path leading to it. It's one of the rules of the Paradise Decay build. So rather than the flat little bridge that we were building, I decided to that we needed a suspension bridge, and rather than do what I normally do and draw it out, I just started building, which is why it took me about twice as long as it should have. Uh, all of these blocks were placed by hand. There was literally, I think, aside from the bottom part of the bridge that was all laid by Gizmo, and the tracks that were laid by Gizmo, the entire suspension system and the towers were all laid by hand, which was probably a mistake too. Uh, the only thing that I did in preparation for building this was essentially count how long the bridge was and do a little bit of math to try and figure out how to do the slopes and how to get it to not look terrible. I think it turned out okay though. But in Minecraft, I built a lot of cool stuff, and I built a lot of interesting things. I think without using any reference and without planning, this is the one thing that I'm more proud of than I think anything else. Yeah, originally we had set out. It was going to be just the fences were all connected, and it was going to slope down that way. Uh, and that at that point, Leo was helping me out, and Leo was a big help in the beginning, but I had to wipe out pretty much all the work that we did when I decided that this kind of style looked better and allowed you to actually cross the bridge. And if you have far on, you can actually see the Yogmore thing that we're actually standing on over here to see the bridge. Yeah, the big issue that I had in the beginning was that we weren't going to be able to see it, and we all thought that the Yogmore thing was pretty cool. Some of us are pretty big Yogscast fans, myself included, and so we wanted to be able to actually see it through the bridge. It was one of the only prerequisites to building the bridge was so that we could see it. I can't take any credit for the rail system except for the addition of the buttons. That was all Gizmo. Um, uh, the only thing that I added was the automatic start. Well, I mean, it's obviously very, very loosely based on the Golden Gate Bridge, which I could only remember from like what was in my head, and I didn't want to Google it. I was being very stubborn with this one. It's not a style of building that I'll be doing again. Oh, and if anyone downloads this world from Paradise Decay, tell me which section is actually one brick too long. My math was wrong, and I ended up having one section be one brick too long. So if you PM me on YouTube at the Wild Wolf, I'll hook the first person up that can count it and tell me which section. Meaning this is the first one, and then in between the next two is the second one. Or in between the next two towers is the second one, and then in between those is the third one. One of them is one too long. I'll hook the first person up with their very own copy of Minecart or Terraria, just whichever they choose. Right. I'm looking at the minecart while I said that. I'm like, minecart rolling backwards. Minecraft or Terraria, your choice.